Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, we're here tonight on the show, and tonight we're going to talk about some wrestling news, and then we'll talk about what the hell happened, and then we'll talk about AEW Dynamite, ladies and gentlemen. All right, let me get this thing out right here. So first, we got some news. Number one is that apparently that spot with Brock Lesnar and after the match, after he got eliminated by Bobby Lashley, and he started destroying everything. He beat up the freaking referee, and he put the steel steps on the announce table. Apparently, all that stuff was not planned. Jesus Christ. He legit hurt that referee. They're saying he hurt his ankle or something. That was not planned at all. Also, hitting the steel steps on the announce table. So obviously, people were not happy with Brock Lesnar, but also do not expect big punishment because it is fucking Brock Lesnar. And if they get real mad at him, they can turn around and he can get mad at them, and before you know it, the guy might want to freaking be released. So they got to be careful with Mr. Brock Lesnar, even though they're not happy with him because that stuff was not planned to hit the referee and to put the announce table, hit the announce table with the steel steps. They're not that mad at him because don't expect any big punishment because otherwise, like I said, things cannot go good. But anyways, let's move on. WWE and AEW both continue to be interested in that New Japan wrestler got the release, Kota Ibushi. He did the Cruiserweight Classic, I believe, with WWE a few years ago, and I think he's also made some appearances on AEW, especially with like Kenny Omega. So Tony Khan said he's interested in trying to bring him in, but we'll see what happens, man. We will see what the hell happens, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go to more news, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see here, ladies and gentlemen. WWE sponsorship revenue for WrestleMania 39 is surging already 43%, higher than it was the entirety of WrestleMania 38 last year. Sponsorship currently stands at $14 to $15 million, which will break the all-time record. That is crazy, man. $14 to $15 million, 43% up from last year when it comes to the freaking sponsorship. That means, I guess more companies are interested in working with WWE to promote their products. Maybe because of Vince McMahon not being as involved anymore. Who knows, man? There's actually some Vince McMahon who's coming on here. But let's see here. And here it is. Speaking of Vince and K. McMahon. Vince and K. McMahon has received a fourth lawsuit has been filed against WWE by a shareholder for more information about horrifying allegations against the chairman Vince McMahon, hoping to bar McMahon from the board of company. Okay, so these are now four lawsuits. I believe one there's so this I don't know where this shareholder is located at. There's another one in Delaware who's also suing him. I know you got the in Detroit, you got the fire and police department suing him. There's like four going on right now. So yeah, who knows? I think like I said, I think in the past I've said this, that all these lawsuits, what they do is they make the sell of the company more complicated. So we'll see what happens. But now he has four lawsuits to deal with, ladies and gentlemen. So there's a lot of talk about having a triple threat match for the Intercontinental Championship between Gunther, Sheamus, and Drew McIntyre. It's said to believe a lot of people in creative want to do that match. So I guess that little tactic they have right now with Sheamus and McIntyre, they're going to end up splitting it up. But you also have on Twitter, you also see Sheamus trash talking with Edge. So who knows what direction they're going, man. But here's a little chicken nugget about it. If Gunther goes on to become the longest reigning WWE IC champion of all time, so they're asking people what do you prefer, I guess. Either for Sheamus to finally win the Intercontinental Championship at WrestleMania, and maybe Sheamus, instead of pinning Gunther, pins McIntyre to keep Gunther from not really losing a match, or do you just rather see freaking Do you guys rather see Gunther continue and break the record, which I think is like 425 days? Which I mean, come on, man, like 425 days is not a lot compared to Roman Reigns, right? He's closing in on 900 days as WWE Universal Champion. That used to be like, oh, 400 days, Jesus Christ. Now it doesn't feel that much because of how long Roman Reigns has been champion. By the way, Gunther is halfway through 400. I think he's like over 200 days. So he's halfway through I think it's a Honky Man record. He's halfway through it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's finish this up. There you see they're teasing the match, already putting up the match graphic for WrestleMania between Gunther, McIntyre, and Sheamus for a Intercontinental Championship triple threat match. Logan Paul, he's teasing a match with Seth Rollins. He made a video of him eliminating Seth Rollins, and he put, "Look at this dude, what a clown." So, and then you had Seth Rollins get an interview on Monday, and they asked him about it, and he stays quiet about getting eliminated by Logan Paul, and then he just walks away without saying anything. So you could tell they are starting to maybe slowly plant the seeds for that Logan Paul Seth Rollins match at WrestleMania. Let's see here, more stuff. So that's about it, ladies and gentlemen. When it comes to the news, that is about it. I think we are ready to talk about AEW Dynamite from last night. I think that is it with the freaking news. Let's see here, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, let's move on. Oh, shoot, what the hell's going on? Dynamite. Alrighty. No, what? It's February now, right? I think it's February. February 1st was last night. 2023. Okie dokie. Hopefully, sometimes I struggle with AEW giving me the right. Fudge. Sometimes AEW does not give the right. All right. I think I'm just gonna have to. I don't know why. I guess it's. I don't know why AEW doesn't do the. No, that's okay. Whatever. I'm just gonna hope this freaking article works. The WWE ones are literally like they go word by word. I don't miss anything that happens. Sometimes, hopefully, everything that happened today is here, and I don't have to like try to memorize anything. Okay, so see, this is not how the show started. I hate when they don't have it in order. All right, so the show starts with Jon Moxley versus freaking Adam Page. What a hell of a match, man. A match that pretty much Adam Page dominated the whole way, man. Blooding it up, Jon Moxley. At the end, he hits the buckshot lariat, and freaking Moxley kicks out. And then freaking Hangman Page just goes into a freaking chokehold, which Jon Moxley ends up conjuring and freaking put them in a full roll up, and he wins the match. After the match, Hangman Page is pissed off. He wants to continue going. Jon Moxley, he wants to continue going. They get separated by the referee and Claudio Castagnoli and freaking Wheeler Yuta. I guess they're just gonna have another match because it was a story. I mean, the most of the match was dominated by Adam Page, and then at the end, Jon Moxley just reversed a chokehold and won with a full roll up. So I think they're gonna do another match. Honestly, we'll see what happens, man. But it looks like there's gonna be more, man. Next, we had a backstage segment where Jamie Hayter's getting interviewed, and the freaking Saraya and Tony Storm attack Britt Baker. So this was good, right? Because I'm like, where the hell was Saraya last week? She was nowhere to be found. She was back this week. Saraya was back, and they attacked Britt Baker. So that was good. It put that storyline back on track, man. I don't know why the hell after turning Saraya a heel, she wasn't on AEW last week. But this was good, man. They put her back in, and she attacks Britt Baker in the parking lot along with Toni Storm. So more heel heat for Saraya and Toni Storm. The Acclaim. What is going on here? The Acclaim was not in the match, were they? They just had a segment with the Ass Boys, and was it a quick match? I don't even remember. I remember the Ass Boys coming out and them having challenging them for a tag team match, and then Billy Gunn walked away, and them was like, I'm tired of this shit. And then they're like, oh yeah, Billy Gunn, like always, Dad, walk away on us just like you did in our entire childhood. And then he comes back in the ring, he gets pissed off, the microphone breaks, he has to get a new microphone, and he pretty much accepts the challenge for the Acclaim. So it's going to be a tag. So he accepts the match for the Acclaim. So the Acclaim versus the Ass Boys for the tag team titles. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see here. Next, we get Kazuchika Takashita versus Brian Cage. It was a good match, man. Brian Danielson wins. Oh my God. I hate this fucking article, man. Jesus Christ. No, Takashita versus Brian Cage. Takashita wins. It was a good match versus Brian Cage. Then after that one, we have Brian Danielson versus Timothy Thatcher, where Takashita gets involved, and so does MJF. They go out to the fighting in the backstage. Brian Danielson wins the match at the end, and then it sets up a match next week with Brian Danielson and Takashita. So yeah. And then MJF offers a more money to Rush so he could face Brian Danielson next week. So that's going to be the next opponent for Brian Danielson next week, Rush. And meanwhile, MJF, who we don't really see wrestle a lot on Dynamite, is going to wrestle Takashita next week after he tried to interfere in the Brian Danielson match, and Takashita didn't let him, and they started brawling. All right. Like I said, Brian Danielson then defeats Timothy Thatcher. Then I think we got a segment with Chris Jericho and the Appreciation Society. I think they once again challenged Ricky Starks. Whatever. Then we get Jade Cargill versus Red Violet. Jade Cargill wins. She is now 50-0. I don't know if anybody cares about Jade Cargill anymore, man. Let's see, man. And then we get the main event, man. Samoa Joe versus Darby Allin. What a match this was, man. Back and forth, all these big spots. It starts off with freaking Darby Allin hitting a freaking dive off the second rope onto freaking Samoa Joe. But Samoa Joe was like holding a table. I think they even took out the camera, man. Jesus Christ, man. Then they go up to the crowd and up on the staircase. Freaking Samoa Joe just flat out drops Darby Allin. Jesus Christ, man. Then he hits him again. There were like two chairs set up. Like if there were a table, Samoa Joe drops him through those. Jesus Christ, man. Darby Allin, man, he'll take the biggest hits, man. He will take the biggest hits. At the end, freaking Darby Allin's trying to expose the freaking the mat, man. He goes under the ring and starts taking the mat and everything away. And it's just the wood left, man. And freaking ends up biting him in the butt at the end. Freaking Samoa Joe freaking Jesus Christ. Samoa Joe freaking hits a brain buster off the top rope on the freaking wood, and that's how he wins, man. So Samoa Joe is once again both the TNT champion and the television champion, man. Once again, the king of television, Samoa Joe, man. And then after the match, Wardlow's back, man. I kind of look like a heel, right? Because after that physical match Samoa Joe had just had with Darby Allin. Freaking Wardlow just comes back and attacks him. It kind of looked like, oh, come on, man. After all that shit. So is it now going to be Wardlow versus Samoa Joe? Did he just win the championship again and just lose it to Wardlow? Because Wardlow has not been pinned yet. So that time he lost it in a triple threat match. Hobbs was the one that got pinned. So did he just win it again now to just feud with Wardlow and now for Wardlow to win it? Maybe. Who knows, man? And then after Dynamite went off the air, Wardlow caught a promo saying that he missed everyone. He thanked the fans for not forgetting about him, and he said being gone for weeks felt like months, that he was happy to be back. So I think he's actually from Ohio, so he was definitely he hadn't been on since like December, right? It's been like 2-3 months since he'd been on, so good stuff, man. It was like a very good show, man. I really enjoyed it, man. And the thing about this show was that I think outside of that little segment with the Acclaim and the Oz Boys with Billy Gunn, nobody really did any microphone, right? They were all just backstage segments, whether it was the Jericho Appreciation Society, MJF and Rush. There was Britt Baker getting checked on by Ruby Soho, and Britt Baker not trusting her, saying, I think you're more on their side because you know more Saraya and Tony Storm longer than you know us. But nothing like too big. It was just wrestling, man. Pretty damn good show, ladies and gentlemen. And yeah, man, until next time, holla.